Avast there, you squabs. Oh my god, that was so stupid. What is going on, everybody? SeanPierceJohnson here with the Season 5 premiere of Stompbox Saturday. Thank you all for joining me on this wacky pedal journey. Let's start off 2018 by getting ourselves into the bathysphere, going down to Rapture, getting on the pirate ship and sailing to the Caribbean. All that kind of aquatic nonsense. I'm about a mile away from the beach here in Southern California, so we are going to the fathoms below with the Walrus Audio Fathom Reverb. This reverb, it's very simple, but that's what I love about it. It's the fact that you don't get probably nearly as many options as you would, say, with a more supercomputer style reverb, but the sounds that you get are so much fun to play and so well tuned that it's kind of hard to figure out what exactly you want to use it for. So let's throw the pedal up on the screen, take a look at the controls on the front of the pedal, and see what we can get out of it. You have 5 knobs, 5 knobs for Season 5, that's fun. A 3-way toggle switch and 2 foot switches. Now let's talk the knobs. You have the X knob, decay, dampen, mix, and the program. Now, the program, you're going to select the different type of reverb. You have Hall, Plate, LoFi, and Sonar. We'll get into more detail later. Mix, obviously adjust your wet, dry mix. You can go full dry to full wet, which is awesome. The dampen is sort of your high-end tailoring for the reverb sound. You can have it be full bright, or you can start to darken it a little bit, make it a little bit more washy. And then you have the decay, which is going to set how long your reverb is going to decay out. The X knob is the really interesting knob. For 2 of the reverb programs, being the Hall and the Plate, it is going to set your pre-delay, which is pretty cool. Not a whole lot of reverb pedals on the market have a pre-delay adjustment. For the LoFi, it's going to adjust the filter width of the filter that goes in the LoFi reverb. It's better if you hear that rather than hear me talk about it, so we'll get to that in a bit. And then when we get to Sonar, that's really what I love. It's a balance between having a mix of low octaves in the reverb tail and high octaves in the reverb tail. Now, the 3-way toggle is a modulation selection. You can have low, medium, and high amounts of modulation, which are really fun. Obviously, you have your bypass foot switch and the sustain foot switch, which basically allows you to set your decay at, say, maybe 12 o'clock. But then when you press down on the sustain switch, it blooms out to its full decay in this infinite sustaining pad-like thing going on. It's a pretty special thing. So I think the best thing to do is we're going to take a look at each sound individually, kind of see what exactly each reverb sounds like, and then I'll show you guys some of my favorite settings on the Fathom. So let's get down to it. It's a pretty nice Hall. I'll go with the low modulation. It was on medium, but here's that again. Pretty nice, pretty lush. We can go back further, make it a little shorter. That's shortest setting. Kind of gets this kind of like ceramic tile thing going on. Maybe if we turned up the dampen knob, we could get that full brightness and we could really get that sound. So let's go ahead and go to the full decay on this thing. I'll let you guys hear what that sounds like. Nice and big and washy. So if you're one of those ambient kind of players, or just a guy that wants something to be able to make a long tail, play over it, and just have a little bit of fun, the Hall is definitely for you. Now, the pre-delay can come in really handy when you have those washy kind of reverb sounds, because what pre-delay does is it essentially sets a short delay time between the initial attack of your note and then when the reverb starts coming in. So I'm just going to hit a couple notes every now and then slowly turn the X knob, and we'll adjust the pre-delay. And you'll see how as I turn it up, it starts preserving the attack of our original note, and then the reverb comes in afterward. You can see now I'm starting to turn it up more, and we can hear more of the original note. It's not as washy. And there you can really hear it. Big washy reverbs with a lot of decay, a lot of fun. Now, this is also one of the modes that I really like exploring the modulation with, and we can definitely get the full effect of that by having the decay up really high, and I'll just bring back the X knob just a little bit of pre-delay. And I'll go through the 3 different positions on the mod switch. You can sense that little bit of warble. Let's go to medium. It's a little bit more apparent. Now let's check out high. And it gets kind of hairy on high. There's a much bigger dip in the modulation. Typically for me, plates are like the kind of reverb pedals that I want. I like a good solid plate. And to me, the Fathom has a great solid plate style reverb. So let's check it out. I like that. Kind of springy, kind of fluttery. It's all kinds of fun. See, this is a different kind of lush. It's got a different tail to it. It doesn't so much decay out because it's essentially replicating sound bouncing between plates along an electromagnetic plate. It is a bunch of geekery that you can see online. Go ahead and look it up. But it's a lot of fun. There you go. Pretty springy. Now, this is really the type of reverb where you can really get the most out of the dampen knob, and where I feel like the brighter sounds really excel. I'll go ahead and turn the dampen knob so you guys can hear how it affects the tail. At full dampen, we almost get this weird sort of lo-fi-ish kind of sound. There's a lo-fi reverb on this, but that's coming soon. Yeah, it's crazy. And I really like that. But for me, it really excels probably between 9 and about 11. For the sake of argument, let's just leave it at 9. Now, the pre-delay is a big secret weapon of this particular program on the Fathom, and one that I feel is incredibly valuable. So what I'm going to do is do exactly what we did on the Hall, slowly start to turn it as I hit some random notes. That one kind of needs some distortion, doesn't it? I think so. Let's do it. I'm not the perfect Van Halen player, but that's kind of that sound. It's that pre-delay. It's not really an echo. It's the pre-delay of a reverb, and there it is. It's kind of like a riffer's reverb. Now the modulation on this is also equally as insane, and one that we need to hear it a little bit higher on the decay. So I'll hit a chord, let it ring out, and show you guys what the modulation does. Essentially what we get with lo-fi is a reverb that has a filter on the decay, and you can adjust the filter width here with the X knob, and then you can fine-tune the high end of it with the dampen control. So the way that I usually like to approach it is just by playing a chord, finding the filter width by sweeping the X knob that I like, and then adjusting the dampen knob to taste. I feel like we've got a good setting there. Now I'll turn the dampen knob all the way down. It's a very cool sound that even at its shortest settings is equally as fun as its longer decay settings. Kind of gets a little rockabilly there. Let's go ahead and check it out with a longer decay. That's cool. You know what? For the heck of it, let's turn back the mix knob, make it a little bit more subtle, throw on some gain. You can see with that even lower mix setting, the lo-fi really cuts. So one of the things that you might have some time to experiment with is finding the balance with some gain. When you go to play Sonar, I want you to think of it like this. Think of a shimmer reverb, and then think of its anti-shimmer cousin. Well, one has high octaves, one has low octaves. And the cool part is you can fine tune the balance between the two sides of the reverb. So if you want more high octaves, you can easily do that. If you want more low octaves, you can do that as well. It's almost like I have a cello playing underneath me, and I can hear this kind of bow-like low tone underneath it. I think that might be my favorite thing about Sonar is the low octave, the anti-shimmer, if you will. Sonar. It's pretty fun. The modulation switch makes that even more exploratory, warbling those pitches and making everything sound like it's underwater. I think that I'm sensing a theme here or something. Wow, that's weird. I kind of like it. Well, there you go. Those are the 4 programs, and they're pretty darn flexible. You can get ambient, you can get standard, you can get standard exploratory. There's a whole world of tones for you to explore with Fathom. So, now that we've talked about all these things, let's quit the yakking and get to my favorite settings with some playing. And there you have it, my friends. That is the Fathom reverb from Walrus Audio's ever-growing line of awesome stomp boxes. There's not a whole lot to it. It's incredibly simple to dial in tones. There's not a whole lot of different reverb sounds to it, but why would you want like 20 reverb sounds when maybe 3 or 4 of them are good and then the rest are trash? I mean, Walrus has kind of done the work of narrowing down the ones that they think sound best and that they like, and they're going to tune out the wazoo to make sure that you can find something out of each of those programs that you like, and I certainly have. I've been having a blast getting into reverb pedals, and of course for me, simplicity is key. I'm not a MIDI guy. It's just not something that I've ever grasped. So the fact that I have powerful reverb pedals in simple packages is a big time plus for me. So there you go. Season 5 is here. Thank you all for joining me for this demo. And I want to know what you guys thought of the Fathom. If you want to share your thoughts, please leave a comment below. Click the subscribe button when you see it. And until next time, my friends, I wish you all great tone and happy stomping. Cheers. Hey everybody, me again. I just wanted to say thank you again for joining me for this week's episode of Stompbox Saturday. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you'd like to see more, go ahead and click the floating subscribe bubble down in the middle there. If this is your first time on my channel, check out this playlist to the left. And if you want to see some of the madness from Winter NAMM 2018, the playlist to the right is just for you. Thanks so much for joining me for this week's episode, and until next time, I wish you all great tone and happy stomping. Cheers.